today we're going to be talking about the ownership of my Fiesta ST, modifications, what it's like to modify a Fiesta ST, price, what it's like to just outright own, you know, in all a Fiesta ST. I've been inspired by Tommy over at B7Y to make this video, and the reason why is because a lot of people out there see a Fiesta ST and they think, oh wow, what a common car, young person's car, whatever, and it's just a chav box, it's not fast, you know, they're a piece of crap, whatever. So I just wanted to make this video to, you know, put forward what it's like to actually own a Fiesta ST, because I've owned one now for a year and a half, and to be quite honest with you, I've had nothing but absolute joy out of this car. There's not one thing about this car that I really do not like. There are, you know, the little itty bitty things, but when it comes to that, you know, every car, and I mean every single car, has got its ups and downs. It's not really fair for me to say that this car is the best car in the world, because yeah, of course there's downsides to you know, having a hot hatch. I mean, storage for one is not absolutely perfect. It's better than other hot hatches, but it's not, you know, storage to the amount that, you know, you could carry a whole family in the car. It's not one of those cars. So yeah, you know, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be real sometimes. The car, no, it's not the best car in the world. There's no all-round best car in the world, but it certainly does what it's supposed to do, and that is put a smile on your face. And if it doesn't do that, then I'm sorry, you're probably me, because I never smile. But no, seriously, the car itself is an absolute blast to have to own, and I've, you know, been nothing but infatuated with it for the past year and a half, because it's so much damn fun. As you guys can see, my car is absolutely the furthest possible distance away from standard, and the reason for that is because I just absolutely love modifying my car. I love doing different things, and I just love having a good connection with the car. But no, in terms of ownership, everything's been really smooth, everything's been really happy. There's been no reliability issues whatsoever. As you guys know, I have upgraded my turbo, I've lowered the car, I have upgraded the brakes and all sorts, so I'm almost covered now, and I'm pretty much, the car is track ready. But in terms of reliability issues, I haven't had a single one, apart from little bitty bits which needed adjusting and tuning, and little things that, you know, I've caused in the first place, such as boost issues, so on and so forth. The great thing about these cars is they're so versatile in terms of how you can drive them. You can absolutely hoon it, but you can also be very civilized while driving it, no matter what sort of turbo kit or what sort of upgrade you go with. The car can always be very civilized, it's very road friendly. The engines on these cars can really take up to 400 brake before things start going iffy. Obviously things are going to prematurely wear before that, but 400 brake is, you know, the end point really, when you really need to start forging your block. But when it comes to the forging and stuff, you start questioning whether over 400 brake is worth it, considering it is a front wheel drive car. It is a lot, and I mean a lot of power to be putting through your front wheel drive car. And personally, I'd much prefer to have the power that I have now, which is sat at 260 to 280 brake horsepower, and still have the daily drivability, no drivability issues, the linear power curve, everything there when and where you need it. In terms of getting power out of these cars, you know, cost for that, it's pretty cheap in comparison to other cars. If you want to go with a hybrid turbo, you don't have to change your manifold, you don't have to do all sorts of stuff like, you know, change your wastegate and so on and so forth. So if you want to go with a hybrid turbo, it's great because you can keep your linear power feel, and you can sort of enjoy that without suffering from stupid turbo lag, etc, etc. So in terms of power, it's pretty linear in terms of what you'd normally do. There's a lot of packages out there in terms of stages, so a lot of tuning companies like to work in the way of stages. So a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and I mentioned this in another video, but for those of you guys that, you know, maybe looking into modifying and maybe want to get a car that you can modify, these cars have a massive aftermarket range of parts, etc, and tuning companies, so on and so forth, which you can go to, and they will offer you a package at a very decent price. So a standard sort of, you know, upgraded turbo setup, for example, the turbo itself would probably be a sort of around about $1.5 to $2 grand, and then mapping will be either implemented into that, a little bit on top. So you're probably looking at around about sort of £2.5 grand for the turbo and mapping to go along with that, and then you need to bolt-ons which are supporting modifications as well. But I won't go into that too much because I have made a video on this before, just again giving you guys an idea of what it's like in terms of modifications. They're very easy to modify. I mean, like I said, I'm running 260, 280 brake horsepower. I'm going to give it a little pull now. I'm going to show you guys how all of this works in synchronization. The power curve is very linear. There is a bit of torque still, but the power curve for the most part is linear. There's no massive spikes. So second gear, 3.5k. As you guys can see, it's definitely got the power there, and I am running one of the bottom end turbos. So power to weight in this car, the way it puts down its power even without a limited slip differential is absolutely insane. So in terms of that is what it is. You know, it puts its power down fantastically. The chassis can handle it very well. I haven't had any drive shaft issues or anything like that at all. So, you know, it's only been a year and a half at the end of the day, so I can't quite quote on reliability and stuff, but and so far I'm running 1.6 bar boost. There hasn't been any issues whatsoever in terms of any knocking or any issues with the spark plugs or anything of that nature. No oil leaks or no oil being drank, no coolant being drank, nothing of that nature. So in terms of the handling of this car, I'm going to try and go around a couple of twisties to show you guys what it's capable of. Obviously, where I can't show you how I'm physically driving right now, I can't give you the best idea of how it handles. But straight out of the box, from standard, these cars handle amazingly. And I never really had a massive issue with that. The only issue I did have was with the standard Bridgestone tyres. I didn't feel like they were good enough for me, so I went with the Michelin Pilot Sport 3s, and they grip so well in the wet and the dry. And obviously, as a road going car, that's exactly what you want. As a B-road car, that's exactly what you want to stay safe, to feel connected to the road, to be confident in how you're driving your car. And it is really confidence inspiring to go with an upgraded tyre. So I'd say if you do get your Fiesta ST, I would highly recommend going with a better set of tyres as one of the first things that you do. What have we got? We've got, the power out of the way. The power, it's pretty easy to get power out of this car. Even if you haven't modified it, the power is still there. It's very, very good. But if you want that little bit more, then I suggest going with a hybrid turbo. And they're very, very readily available from most tuning companies. In terms of the interior, a lot of people think it's very lackluster. Personally, I really like it. It's got everything that you possibly need. I've got a nice little Sony radio there that not a lot of people tend to like, but I personally really like it. Again, I don't see a problem with it really. The sync system, yes, is a little bit outdated, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day. A lot of the budget for this car from Ford has gone into how the car drives, clearly, rather than the interior of the car. It's not a German car at the end of the day. Everything has been fine-tuned to drive perfectly in this car, and obviously there's more room for improvement. But like I say, the center console, the radio, whatever it is, I don't have a problem with it. The standard seats, they were great. They were very, very huggy, and I find these are a lot more comfortable for me personally with these bucket seats. But the standard seats are comfortable, and they're heated as well, depending on what trim you go with. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about the interior. You've got all your little bits and bobs, you've got your nice light up cup holders and stuff like that. But personally, when you're driving the car, you completely forget about all of that, because the drive is so much fun. It's clearly not built for luxury. It's built for purpose at the end of the day. Ford built the car for purpose. It's built for enjoying, and it is very, very enjoyable to drive. So in terms of the interior, that's pretty much what I would say about that. And the handling, again, I can't comment on that too much because, I'm not physically able to whack it around these roads that I'm on right now. But the way the car does handle, I've done some pretty silly things in this car, and it does take the abuse. It absolutely loves it. So I hope that answers your question about that. There's my mate Piers. Oh, it's not. I just waved for the wrong person. Never had a single problem with it in terms of reliability. It always puts a smile on my face. I absolutely love working on it. I love adding bits and bobs to it, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby, it's my passion, I love doing it, and I will continue to do that, because I can't see myself getting rid of this car, to be honest with you. I physically do not think I will ever get rid of this car unless I really, really, really needed to, because it's my happy place, it's my office, and I guess that's what it's all about. So if you are looking to buy one of these and you've been looking for a long time, I say go for it. Enjoy the car while it's standard first, and then looking to do modifications. Personally, I jumped straight into modifications, which isn't the best idea in the world with any car really, but you know, it is what it is, and I am glad that I have modified the car, because it feels unique, it feels like my own, and it drives absolutely superbly. Always puts a smile on my face when driving it, and yeah, there's nothing to complain about. I don't see anything to complain about. It's a B-road toy. Brakes are good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a bit of insight as to how these cars are. They're not bad, you know, they're fantastic in terms of reliability. Never had a reliability issue. Parts are relatively cheap in terms of upgrading your bolt-ons and all of that sort of stuff. Keeping it on top with the servicing is not hard. It's really easy, it's really simple. If you're looking at getting one, I would highly recommend test driving one, seeing how you like it. It seems as though these cars have a massive appeal towards all age ranges, so no matter who you are, this car is more than likely for you if you enjoy your cars. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, you stay frosty, and I will see you in the next video. Sorry guys, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.